right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Current Flow podcast. This is episode number 2. And we are your hosts, Carlos and Steezy.
What up, everybody?
What's happening, man?
Thanks for tuning in.
As soon as I saw Carlos walk into my place, I was like, dang, that's a cool ass fucking shirt, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm about that run life.
I'm a Nike stan, that's why. I love
bro.
Nike.
When Nike has events, I just gotta go.
I am open to other brands, but like I prefer Nike.
Yeah, I'm for sure a Nike loyalist, but I will try other ones. But
Yeah.
within the day, dude, I love my checks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, that's not. Yeah, I was thinking of stripes.
Checks over stripes.
I heard you say checks, but then my brain said stripes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And you know what's funny? As I was saying it, I was like, did I say it?
Yeah, that's why I gotta check yourself.
But yeah, it was cool. So I mean, those of you guys that might not know, yesterday was Global Running Day. So hopefully y'all got your miles in. It seems like everybody's running nowadays, so probably did. And Nike had an event. It was really cool. They were launching their new Pegasus, the 41, and they were in the Santa Monica store. They had like an event. It was like a 3-mile run. Sophie Tucker was there. It was an open bar. They were doing like heat transfers on these tees. You can like pick your design. These are like Nike tees. I thought they would be like
so they were making the shirts there.
Yeah, they were making them.
Okay, I thought they were just ready. You pick what you want.
No, they were like blank tees, and then you can design your shirt.
That is cool.
And they were doing, I guess in the beginning, you can choose the 2 different designs, like put like this in the front and something else on the back. But they were just running out of, I guess, decals or whatever, so they changed it to just one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you can like get that, and then they had like bandanas. This guy Josh Leva was there. He's one of the hosts of the La Platica podcast. It's like the largest or biggest Latino podcast, I guess.
Dang, we should be the biggest Latino.
Dude,
podcast,
we'll get there,
dude.
Bro. We'll get there. I mean, I know.
La Platica sounds like, what does that mean?
So Platica means to conversate. Yeah, like
silver.
Platicamos means like we're conversating.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool, dude. Sophie Tucker was there. I don't know if I mentioned her or not, but it was dope and it was free. Open bar, bro. My homie got a little wasted.
Open bar after a night run. That's cool.
Yeah, because typically you get like a beer. Because they were giving out wristbands, so I was thinking, oh, maybe they'll give us like a beer. You know, they typically give like a beer or a seltzer or something. But no, it was open bar. It even had like a cool Nike cocktail called the Vault.
Really?
I didn't know what it was. Stephanie got it, but
was it good?
I had to take a sip. But it was pretty good. Yeah, it was.
I imagine it would be like a lemony kind of drink.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it just tasted like, I think it was tequila and some stuff. I don't know.
My favorite.
Some green stuff. It was fire. So it was cool. The only downside was I was super sore because the day before I did a track workout right after leg day. So my legs were shot. Yeah, bro. And yesterday went on a run. I didn't want to run, but
I don't want to run yesterday either, dude. But I mean, I didn't do the whole event like you, but I fucking did it, man. Yeah,
I saw Coach Bennett. Do you know who Coach Bennett is?
Maybe if I saw his face.
He's a coach on like the Nike running app and stuff, and he does a lot. He goes to a lot of the events. So if you follow like Nike running coach or the running app, whatever, you would have heard of him.
Come across him.
Yeah, he's like a big guy there, like a main coach, and he was there. It was cool. I spoke to him a little bit, and it's just so crazy to me how these runners make it so easy.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like I was running and I was going to me pretty fast, and I was getting a little bit tired by like in the second mile, and I was talking to him, and then he just
nothing.
Just took off. Like it was like nothing. It was like he wasn't even running fast. He was just running, but he was just going so far ahead of me.
Yeah.
It was so weird. That's how a lot of people were. They were just passing me up, but whatever.
Yesterday I had my high intensity interval training workout, and typically Wednesdays are super cardio heavy at F45. And I was actually kind of like tired. I was telling you yesterday, man, I feel fatigued. Like I feel like my body hit a wall. I was texting you that.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't had a rest day since last Sunday.
Dude, you need a rest, bro.
I know I need a rest.
That's when your muscles get big.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm doing my body a disservice at the moment. Tomorrow's my rest day. Albeit I'm going to play some golf, but I don't see that as being strenuous activity. But after the fucking class, dude, even though I walked into that class like tired and like even like anxious, like I don't want to do this workout, but I'm here. After that, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for a run. So I went for a run from F45 to the 6th Street Bridge and then back. That's been like my after.
How many miles is that? Like 2?
2.2 yesterday I did 2.2 because I kind of cut it a little short, but typically it's 2.5.
I mean, that's nothing to shrug at.
It's just real quick, honestly. After
Yeah.
a workout, like
Yeah.
right after, just to get something out
After
the way.
workout, that's tough, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like what I do, like 3 something miles after I lift or do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's significantly harder.
Yeah.
Especially if you do something like F45 or like a leg day or something. It's crazy how fatigued your legs will feel, especially if you're trying to go fast. There were moments when I was running and my feet would like scrape the floor because I wasn't lifting my legs high enough because I was just so tired.
I think that's your gait, right? Your gait is just like your
Well, yeah, like your stride. Like it was just I was barely lifting my foot.
like
It was
your feet were feeling heavier and heavier.
yeah,
almost.
like super heavy.
Yeah.
So
I've just barely started since last week. These runs, I typically like to do 3 miles, but like the route is just so perfectly 2.5. I'm just like, whatever, just real quick after the workouts. But when I was running the 6th Street Bridge, there was this big old group running together, some run club or something like that. I'm not sure, but they had like people set up with drones and stuff. And then I ran back to F45, and that group was there, like huge group, dude, and they were filming shit. So I wonder what run club that might have been.
what day was it?
This was yesterday.
oh, I mean
I
everyone
think it
was
was
running.
I would think it was for the Global Running Day thing. I was gonna ask him what it was for, but I was shy.
No, yeah, I mean everyone was running. So the other big run club, well, there's a couple of big ones, but the other like big one in LA is the Venice Run Club, and they meet Wednesdays.
I wonder if everybody's running because like we're being programmed by social media, seeing everybody run, that like it just kind of makes everybody like want to run. And then at the same time, I feel like there's people that may not ever have had like a hobby, and they kind of pick up a hobby. In a
Yeah,
sense,
and then running becomes like the thing that they do.
Like especially when you hit like your 25 to like 30 or something like that, like or even your 25 to 35, like people maybe get caught up in their job and they realize, oh, I need something else kind of to put some focus in or into. For me, I've always had like golf or
something.
Yeah,
I mean, you run too. You used to run the trails. I mean, when I first started to try to run was with you.
Yeah,
we would do like the trails up in Griffith.
I've always ran here and there, but I kind of like stopped.
You weren't like
doing
consistent with it. Yeah, same with me. Like I went through that phase where I was running a little bit. And I didn't know anything about running, dude. I literally I bought the Pegasus Trails, the Terra Tigers, and I just went with you. That's it. And then again during COVID because the gyms were closed, and now again. But now I'm like taking it serious. Like I'm actually trying to be a better runner, and stuff, especially because I signed up for something. So,
yeah. Do you feel yourself improving?
Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy. When I was doing my interval workout, it had me do an 8-minute pace, and I was like, no fucking way I can do 8-minute pace. Because before, when I first started running, my mile was like 17, 18 minutes. And that was me actually trying. Like, I was actually trying. I was just walking a lot because I couldn't do it. So for me to be like, oh, an 8-minute pace, even for a few minutes, it was like, no way I can do that. And I did it after my leg day. It was hard, but I did it. I was like, wow. I'm
pushing, huh?
Yeah, I was pushing. So, but I was surprised.
Yeah.
And even my mile times, like the fastest mile now is like right like 9 minutes, like right under 9 minutes, like 8:50 or 9:02, something like that, which is crazy to me. I never would have thought, and that wasn't me even trying to do a fast mile. It was just
I think because
running.
How long have you been pretty consistent with it? Like last 3 months
since,
or so?
No, like since December now.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I started when I got hired in my new job.
Okay.
Because they have a track there. So I was like, oh, whatever, I'm just gonna start running. So that's when I started running. And we did the Spartan race, remember?
Yeah.
And then
that's right. I forgot about the Spartan.
Yeah,
race.
we did the Spartan race. And ever since then I was like, oh shit, I want to be like get good and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix this shit.
Yeah, I feel like for me it's like the first mile is kind of fucking hard, but once I get to like mile 2.5 to like 3, I start to get that rhythm and like it becomes easier. Like on Saturday I went for a 6.8 mile run with Eric. And I felt like the first couple of miles I was like, fuck, like I don't know if I'm gonna do this or if I'm gonna make it. But then you just get in that rhythm and like I don't know, you just feel it, like runner's high. I feel like that's a perfect explanation.
Yeah, it's funny because when people run, they do like oh, your first 2 miles or your first mile or two are your warm up runs, your warm up. But I feel like sometimes, dude, my first mile is hard.
Yeah.
That's even after like I warm up, like I do my mobility, I stretch, I do whatever.
Yeah.
Let me fix this. But it's still like hard that
Yeah.
first mile, and I finally get it, and damn, this keeps dropping. Hold up. Pause.
The one thing about this though is that it has natural flavors. Have you and Steph ever considered getting a dog?
Dude, Steph always brings up getting a dog. I'm opposed to it because it's just more to deal with in the house, you know. And Steph does take care of the majority of stuff in the house, but it's like you gotta walk it, clean up after, and then you have to like feed it and stuff. Obviously, just the basic stuff. But sometimes when we're at home and it's a weekend and we just want to sleep in, you can't do that because now someone has to wake up and walk it, take it outside, and then they get sick. And then what if we want to travel? Then we have to find somewhere to drop them off.
Yeah. Magali's been like saying she's wanted a dog for a while, but I've been like, well, at least let's wait until we get a balcony, you know, like let them get some fresh air, especially like for us. She works Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the office. I'm in the office Tuesday, Wednesday. So ideally the dog will only be left alone 8 hours or 9 hours, 2 days throughout the week, you know? So I think for a dog to be left in a cage, there's like a certain hour limit. And I think that meets it, like where it's in compliance, quote unquote. But, last week I went running with my homies from F45, and my homie Anna brought her dog, and dude, running with a dog is a vibe. Like I don't know what it is. I was just fucking loving it. I was like, man, I think I want to get a dog sooner than later just because of that. You know?
It's funny too when I see people run with their dogs because it looks like their dogs aren't even trying. Like we're running, but they're just like kind of walking fast.
Yeah, this fool, I was going like maybe 10-minute, 30-second pace, and I noticed like because he was a pit bull, so he had muscle, athletic.
Oh.
And he wasn't trying that hard. I was like, oh, okay. And he had a cool little pace too. Like he was right next to me. He didn't pull me. I mean, if you're going kind of slow, he probably will pull you. He just wants to go. But when I sped up, he fucking started speeding up. And then I look at him, he looks at me, and he's still going. And it's just cute, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck, this was dope.
Yeah, it is cute. I've ran with my pit bull too. When we first got him, when I lived in Mobile, I was starting to run and stuff. But he got lazy, dude. Like pit bulls, they're kind of lazy dogs.
Really?
Well, they can be, because it all depends how you train them and stuff. But from what I understand, they're pretty good indoor dogs because they don't require a lot of energy. Like they can get tired pretty quickly, from what I've seen. But him, I would walk him outside, and he would just by one block over, he just kind of want to stop and doesn't want to walk anymore.
Gotcha. I like pit bulls though. I feel like they're really good looking dogs, and they're like super athletic. I also love strong. Yeah, they're strong.
They're strong.
Weimaraners. I think Weimaraners are cool. German short-haired pointers. My dad has a Weimaraner. My mom has a German short-haired pointer.
You see the dogs that Steph wants are like a Bernedoodle.
No, I want a big dog that I can fucking take places. And
yeah, see, that's what I told. I was like, if you want to get a dog, you should get a big dog because like an actual dog. Because she was like, oh, I want to take a hiking. I was like, dude, a fucking hawk is gonna come down and take your dog.
For sure, dude.
You know, like you need like an actual dog.
An athletic dog.
Yeah, an athletic dog. Because, dude, it grinds my gears when I go to a hike and I see people carry their dogs. I'm like, dude.
It's an animal. It's supposed to be walking.
Yeah. It's like, that used to be a wolf. And you were carrying him because he's tired from a little hike,
Right,
dude.
yeah.
Like,
People like to baby their fucking dogs, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't, dude. And that annoys me too. Because I know people who have dogs too. And they're like, oh, my dog has anxiety. And so I have to get messy. I'm like, dude, fuck.
Like, I would love my dog, of course. But at the end of the day, he's an animal. So I'm going to fucking discipline that fool. He's going to know that I'm the man, not him. And he's going to listen to me. If I fucking raise my voice, that motherfucker better be sitting because he's going to get fucked up.
Yeah, dude. I don't like people who baby their dogs too much.
And like I think it's indicative of like possibly how I would parent. Like I am not gonna like automatically resort to spanking my kid, but I'll spank.
But it's not off the table.
No, it's not like no. I was spanked and that turned out fucking great. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm respectable. I'm humble. I'm honest. I'm a real catch. You know what I mean? But dude, besides that, I'm just being funny. No, I think like especially if like my kid is grown and he's talking to his mom a certain way. Motherfucker, you say something again, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah,
like, straight the fuck up.
That's funny because that's one of my motivations to keep going to the gym and stuff. Because I want to make sure that I'm always bigger than my son and stronger than my son. Obviously, it's gonna be a time where
it's just natural.
Yeah, but you want to put there should be a little bit of fear always
Definitely
with the dad. You know,
I mean, my dad has never spanked me. I've always had like a really cool relationship with my dad, albeit not the best because I don't see him that often. But like me and my stepdad, man, we've fucking. I know. I got nothing but love and respect for him, you know. But we've gone toe to toe, man.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Sometimes you got to do that. I mean, I'd rather not, but homie, if you're being crazy, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't. You know, we don't have to get into it, but it was never my fault. I never started that shit, so I wouldn't be that type of person to.
You don't initiate that kind of stuff.
That's not me. You know,
but
some people do.
You got to.
And then when they do, either you man up and stand your ground, or you cower. And I've never been one to cower.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. I agree. There should be some kind of like spanking when there needs to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a last resort, I've spoken about this with Steph too, and she's in agreement. Because some kids are bad, dude.
Yeah, I definitely would not be giving my kid an iPad until they're like fucking, I don't know, maybe 12, 13.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, until they can get some utility out of it, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I don't want to like. They'll have a phone because you kind of do need a phone, but I'm gonna have all the parental shit on there, like Instagram.
What my kid's gonna have is just a motherfucking little Apple Watch. That's it.
Remember the jitterbugs? They were like those old people flip phones, and they had just like 6 buttons on it.
I remember.
Yeah, they're old, dude. They were literally like a flip phone, but they were huge, and they were for people older people who can't see, can't dial numbers, can't remember numbers, and they would just be like 6 numbers for speed dial and like 911.
What that reminds me of is, what's it called? The nothing phone?
Oh, the nothing phone?
I think I'd probably get them a nothing phone.
Yeah. I like that phone too. That phone's actually pretty cool.
It's just a phone, right?
Yeah, it's literally, I think, just a phone. The only reason why I would like the iOS ones because they have pretty good parental controls, from what I understand.
Pretty good parental. Okay.
Yeah, like you can put limits on stuff or just have shit completely like blocked off, and you can see how much activity, like kind of like their screen time and stuff. You can see it.
Okay.
But yeah,
because I don't want to be like a Nazi, right? Like if my son is maybe 6 years old and his friends have video games, like I'm not gonna like, I love video games. Like why would I be a Nazi? You know?
Yeah,
like,
I think it really depends on how you introduce technology to the kids, because there are parents who just use it as a babysitting tool, where it's like, oh, here, just shut up and be quiet, and they get like stuck into it.
Yep.
But if you use it as like there's a time and place. Like, oh, you want to play a little bit? Like, here's 30 minutes you can play a little bit, or maybe
you have to do something. You have to earn it.
Like, yeah, exactly. Because I want my kids to rather be outside and doing something than be on an iPad.
Oh, for sure.
And like the iPad, yeah, exactly. Like the iPads will be like, something, it's there, but that's not something that they really crave, you know? And I think that all depends on how you introduce the iPad to them. Like if you introduce them and you always give it to them just for them to be quiet, they're just gonna be consuming and doom scrolling. That's what they do. My nephew,
if I'm doom scrolling, these motherfuckers gonna be doom
100%, bro. Like my nephew is cute though, but he's not my kid. He'll come up to me, he'll be like, "Look, you want to see?" And it's just reels. It's like Instagram, the shorts, the YouTube shorts. He's just like, "Wow, that's so funny." That's so funny. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's so funny." But
man,
that's what he does.
Oh, that's so funny.
And it's like, little kids are doom scrolling now, you know, and it's like, I wouldn't do that, but that's not my kid. His mom's right there. And it's like, oh well, what are you gonna do? But I don't want my kid to be doing that.
Yes,
you know?
Of course, no.
Like I'm opposed. I was telling this
at least to the best of your ability.
Yeah, as much as you can, you know. Like I'm opposed to for them to have TVs in their room, or I wouldn't even want to give them a laptop until they're like way later. Like I do want like a family computer and stuff, like an actual PC where they
can check the history.
Exactly, and they can do homework and stuff and do whatever.
Why'd you delete the history?
Dude, oh my god, it's fucking funny. So my niece, she was during COVID.
This happened?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about me deleting history when I was little.
Dude, it's fucking funny. We were doing it was during COVID, so everything was online, right? So all their homework was online. And it was like easy stuff, dude. It was like 8 times 8, whatever, shit like that. And then I was helping her with her homework, and she was doing it and whatever, and she finished it super fast, which is unheard of for her, you know. And she's like, "Look, Uncle, I'm doing my homework. You want to check it?" And I checked, and they were all right, which is also a red flag, you know, just because I know what she can do, you know. And then I'm like, "Oh, you did," and there was no like work anywhere. It was like 8 times 8, or it was a multiplication. There was no like scratch paper nowhere, and she hates math, so that would imply that she would memorize it or something, right? But I know she didn't. So then I go onto Google. No, I go onto the browser, and I go to the history.
Oh, you're doing some diligence.
Yeah, and it was like, what is 8 times 8? What is it? Like literally, she was getting answers like that. I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
dude.
she got caught.
I thought you were gonna say she was on Chegg.
On Chegg. Oh, dude, I
You don't even need Chegg no more.
No, you don't. You just got ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Quizlet, dude. Quizlet got me through college. But you know what? That's a teacher's fault. Like, you're gonna recycle same test for 3 years and stuff. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's just be lazy.
Yeah.
But you said you had a story too about when you were younger.
Yeah, I remember we had a family computer that was in my room, and I had gone to sleep, and I guess this was at a time where I didn't like to close my door, or I don't know if I was made to leave my door open. I don't know, but the door was open. And I remember like I was fucking just everybody was asleep. At least I thought they were asleep. And then I'm up late looking at like, I don't know, www.playboy.com, like just shit like that. Like, I don't know. I must have been like, I don't know, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And I hear like the wood start to creak, and I just like turn off the fucking screen, but the computer's still on. And then I laid down all quick, and my mom's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing." She's like, "I hear you moving around." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I just can't sleep." "Well, go to bed." And then she would get mad if he mess with her sleep. So then I realized the next day, like, oh, I should probably like delete the history. And so I deleted the history. And then my stepdad, like later when I get back from school, was like, "Why'd you delete the history in the computer?" And so I guess my mom told him that like, "Oh, I think Steven was on the computer last night." And they were trying to like see what I was looking at. But luckily the history was deleted.
You beat him to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that sucks too. Like, delete all the history.
Yeah.
But now you can like delete the last hour.
Yeah.
Or delete the last 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah. And my mom was like, "That can't be done, right?" And my stepdad, I remember him being like, "It can be done." He was kind of tech savvy.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. Like, that's tech savvy, just deleting history. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
At that time, like,
Yeah.
that's just an example of what the time was.
It was funny because like when we had a computer in our house, no one knew how to use it except for like me, because my parents, they still don't know how to use a computer and stuff. So yeah, I was able to. I remember the first website I found for like for the corn. It was first time auditions. The first time. Do you remember? Have you heard of that one?
I can't say that I have. I'm sure
it
I've
was
seen
like
the videos.
it was like a random. I don't know how I even came across it, but that was like my go-to because that was the only one I knew. So I would just go first time auditions.com and just look at the trailers, the 1 minute trailers and shit, and then you find the part that's like the best and you put like your mouse there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You
can rewind it. Yeah, because they're only like fucking 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck. And now kids today, like, they have access to that shit.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy. My niece
on
keeps
X.
Yeah, it's literally on X. Dude, you can go on Instagram and see shit. Like now, there's like a trend where these like OnlyFans girls found like a loophole in the community guidelines in Instagram to show their chichis if they're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Have you seen that shit?
Yeah.
So now they get like a literal fake baby, not even a real baby. They're like, "Oh, I'm breastfeeding," and they like just show their tit, and they're just like breastfeeding.
Yeah, I've seen actual like people baby breastfeeding, or not people, but women, because only a woman can breastfeed. Get that straight. And what was I saying? Fucking yeah. So they're actually breastfeeding their baby, and they're fucking pulling out their titty. And like in my head, I'm like, why would you? I don't know. Like, why would you even put that on the internet? Like, is it for attention, or is it because you're trying to spread breastfeeding awareness and cherish like fucking let your boobs flourish or whatever the fuck? I don't know what. Free the nip, But
yeah, but then you go under page and there's like a link.
I haven't tried that yet.
Spicy link.
I just when I'm doom scrolling, shit like that pops up.
yeah, dude. That's like those are like loopholes that people. You can just see that now. you know. And like my niece, she asked me like, "Oh, what's the HBO Max password?" I'm not giving that to you. Your mom has it. If she wants to give it to you, that's on her. But I'm not gonna give her that shit because there's also there's shit on there too, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because like I know my dad sees some spicy things too, and it's funny because like I go to my Netflix account because I don't think, at least before, he didn't know there was like profiles. So he would watch on whatever profile was there, and most of the time it was mine.
Yeah.
And it would be like continue watching, and it would be like just super spicy covers, you know. Like, it would be like, I don't know, remember like 365 or whatever that shit was, or like Sex Life, and you just see like two people half naked, and there would just like be three of them like just halfway watched. I'm like, someone was looking for some shit.
That's funny. I remember when I was little. There was a room in my grandma's house that had like cable TV. It's actually my old room that I grew up in, and I would always be in there like doing homework or like just watching TV. And I remember like I don't know what prompted me to search the history of like purchase, but I just went in there. I was being nosy or something, and I saw all of these fucking pornos bought. And then I go and I think I told my grandma or I told my mom like, hey, like who's buying pornos? And maybe I was trying to stir the pot, which was fucked up of me, but whatever. It turns out my grandpa was buying pornos, and I got my grandpa in trouble. So I'm sorry, Grandpa Bob. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Dang, that's crazy. There's a bunch of transactions and shit.
And I remember my mom be like, "You're a dirty old man." Like she was mad. And he was like, "I'm sorry."
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, dude. Yeah. It's
kind of funny the shit I've seen like with my family. Like I've seen some real shit. Like,
yeah. It's funny too because the stuff with like porn and sex scenes and shit. The way you get introduced to it is always like funny for us because we were so young and there was no internet, so we had to find it, or not even find it, but it just revealed itself in weird ways. Like, I didn't know anything until I think I remember exactly. I was sleeping over at my aunt's house, and in New York, and we were watching the movie Evolution. You know the movie Evolution? Oh, that's a good one. It's like a comedy one, but it was on Cinemax.
Who's it with?
I don't know their names, but the guy from X-Files.
Okay.
And some other dude, but I forgot their names. But if you've seen it, you might recognize the cover. It was like an alien type movie, but it's like funny.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. And the aliens are like these blue Yeti like things at the end.
Yeah.
And they get killed with Head and Shoulders.
Yes, because the selenium.
Yeah, exactly.
In Head and Shoulders. Yep.
Yeah. So that one, we were watching that one, right? And she knocked out, and I was whatever. I stayed watching it, and it was on Cinemax. And if you know anything about Cinemax, back in the day,
turned to Skinemax.
Yeah, it was Skinemax, and I didn't know that, you know, because I don't think in my house we had any of that stuff, but my aunt did. So I was watching the movie, whatever, and I remember I had an ice cream, like a Starburst sherbet ice cream, which I've never seen again, but that was so fire. And anyway, I was watching it, and then the movie was over, and I'm just kind of like chilling, whatever. And she was knocked down. She was right behind me. Like, she was on the couch, and I was sitting on the floor in front of her. And then some fucking porn started. And it was, I remember very specifically, because it started hot. It was like, started off hot. And it was like, what's that guy that plays the piano? He has like a mask on.
Phantom of the Opera?
Yes, it was like Phantom of the Opera type shit. And he like, I don't know exactly, but all I remember was he was sitting down and there was a girl and they were just like doing it. And I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I liked it, you know? Like, you don't know, but like, you're like, your body knows. And I was like, oh.
But you don't know how it works yet.
Yeah, you don't know like the ins and outs, right? But that was the first time.
You think you're just rubbing.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the first time that I ever
You don't know
saw.
that the dick is supposed to go in the vagina. You don't find that out till like 10 years later.
Dude, Steph was telling me about, if you know the show Bridgerton. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure people, a lot of people have heard of it. But there's like a clip in Bridgerton that deals with that, and she sent it to me. It was like this girl who I guess her mom has been wanting her to have sex so she can have a kid. She's like, yeah, we have sex all the time. Like, what are you talking about? Whatever. And then another sister or whatever, she's just like, yeah, you know, like when it gets inserted into whatever. She's like, what do you mean inserted into what? So she didn't know. And she was like, what do? You don't insert anything? And you're like, no, I mean, the guy, he just kind of gets on me and then he makes a weird noise and then he changes his pants. So his pants never even come off because they didn't know either. Imagine back then, there was really like nothing, you know, just imagination, maybe some paintings and stuff. But she had no idea what sex was. And she was like older, probably like, 20s or something.
You don't feel those like fucking human instincts though. Like I remember when I was a little kid, like fucking if I saw a music video and there was a girl in a bikini, automatically I'd get a fucking boner. You know,
Dude, the Pussycat Dolls video, dude, buttons. That
I
used
have
to
to
get
watch
me.
that. I can't remember it.
Yeah, dude. I remember because I used to watch Fuse.
Is that the one where she's like, "You're pushing on my buttons"?
Yeah, with Snoop Dogg. Yeah, dude. That one for me. That's the one I remember when I was young. That would get me fucking excited.
I can't remember which ones.
Yeah, that's the one I remember. But yeah, it's same, dude. Because I used to watch like Fuse and MTV and stuff. You just see the music videos. You're like, God damn. Oh, Britney Spears, Toxic and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, damn, dude, Britney Spears. I know.
It's kind of funny. We're talking about popping boners right now.
Hey, you know what? That's how it's flowing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the current flow, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's but every guy has stories like that.
Oh, of course.
Dude,
Yeah.
every dude. If you're dating a dude and he don't have anything like that, he's lying to you.
Every dude's play with their pee-pee at some point.
Yeah. Dude, I remember the first time that I like came and I didn't know what the fuck it was. And I was
Really?
scared. I thought I had to go to the doctor. Cause I know what it was. No, and my parents never gave me like the
Birds
talk,
and the bees.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember I was in the shower. Again, I was in my aunt's house. And I was taking a shower, whatever, and then I don't know what occurred to me to like kind of touch myself down there, you know. But you know it's there,
discovering yourself.
You know? And I see my nephew a lot, and he kind of touches himself, but not like in that way. He'll just kind of like walk around, or just like grabbing his junk and stuff, because you know it's there, and you're a kid. You know what the fuck? You're just
doing what you're
just
doing.
touching shit.
Like a monkey.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so I'm in the shower and then I'm like, oh wow, this actually feels pretty nice. And like not even 10 seconds later, some shit comes out, like, you know, come. And I was like, what the fuck is it? I was panicking because I thought it wasn't natural, and I was fighting. I don't know what to do, whether to tell my aunt like what I was doing and everything or what. So I didn't tell anybody, and then. You know,
Not until now. He told everybody.
Yeah, not everyone knows, dude. But that was scary. I was actually
Really?
scared because I
Legit
know
scared?
because no one ever spoke to me about it, which is also something I'd want to change if and when I become a parent. Like have that talk.
I remember when I had the first feeling of it, but I was so little that I wasn't even making cum yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I remember I had this like bouncy ball that I would bounce on, and fucking I don't know what happened. I remember just like getting off it, like like what the fuck? Like I remember like, oh my god, what is that? But then like, oh, I kind of felt kind of good.
Where's
and you
my
just see me
bouncy ball?
bouncing on it like all the time.
That's hilarious. You were small then.
No, I must have been like fucking 6 years old, dog.
Damn, that's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
That's funny. But I remember seeing because I think Stephanie asked me like how young I was when I had my first boner, and I was like, honestly, I've been having them for as far as I can remember.
Since I was a baby.
Yeah, and then but I Googled it, and apparently like little boys start having it since they were like 4 or something. I know that, but it's funny because you can see, at least with my nephew, even when he was younger, he's only 4, but even when he was like 2 and 3, like you can see how he would look at girls and just be like all like mesmerized and want to like, you know, do little cute things with them and stuff.
Yeah.
They're little flirts. They know. It's like in their instincts.
It's in your DNA, dude.
Yeah, it's like no one's prompting them to, but they see a girl, they're just like
And automatic. I mean, I remember being 4 because I remember like being little and people asking me, "How old are you?" And I'd just be like this. And so I remember doing 4. So I remember being 4, and I know for sure I was having boners at 4. Like it was just
as far as you can remember, bro. You remember this and boners. Have you seen the clips of the that guy on the Joe Rogan podcast? He was Terrence.
Oh yeah.
And he was saying he remembered himself in the fetus. When he was like when he was a fetus, and he was just like, I don't know what this is, but it's like an arm. I'm like, dude, that's fucking crazy. And people like listen to him.
Yeah. Well, what if he's telling the truth?
Some
I mean, some of the stuff he was saying is like outlandish.
I didn't see the whole thing, but I was seeing like clips, and I started watching a little bit of it. I'm like, dude.
I thought at some point he was gonna be like, yeah, like I literally have a direct lineage that I can trace to the Anunnaki, like the Anunnaki are real or something. You know, I was waiting for that, but
the Anunnaki are interesting. I mean, all those ancient civilizations are interesting, dude. I would go into binges of watching Ancient Aliens and just like be like, dude, yeah, for sure there were aliens back then, like the pyramids, bro, the stars, like how they know the like astronomy back then. Crazy stuff, dude.
There was this guy on the, Andrew Scholes.
Yeah,
he has a podcast with these other guys, but he had this dude that was on there, some black guy, I forgot his name, but the guy has like a really popular podcast talking about like just, you know, all these kind of conspiracies and stuff. But he himself, and like when he starts talking about this certain situation that happened to him, he starts breaking down because this certain situation led to like his family kind of like annexing him. Like it created a divide between him and his like kids and his wife because they kind of thought he was crazy. But he was talking about how like he was encountered by aliens, like they came to his door and like he saw them, blah, blah, blah. And like, I think he was in his basement, he said, and they appeared to him, like they materialized or something like that. And he was trying to tell his family, and then like they were like kind of scared about it, like what the fuck is going on with dad, blah, blah. And so he like kind of tried to like forget about it, but it happened again or something like that. And like after that, he just couldn't let it go. And so, but he talks about the Anunnaki as well and how they're like, you know, there's a tie within the Bible and even with aliens and stuff. Like people claim that they might be demons. They're definitely interdimensional beings, you know. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to hear him talk about like the Anunnaki and like why we have different races and what they did to like, you know, the human race. Essentially, like we were their like slaves in a sense. And yeah, I could probably go into more detail, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that too because that sounds super interesting. It is interesting to hear other people's perspectives on like how everything began. Like, have you seen the movie Prometheus? Like Ridley Scott. It's like a prequel to Alien.
Yeah. I think I have.
And like their whole like I guess theory of humankind, which you never know. I mean, it might be something akin to it. Is like there were like these engineers, aliens, right? And they came to Earth and they pretty much made us in the image of themselves. But they were aliens, so they call them the engineers. And that's how it started. I think I don't remember exactly. In the beginning movie, he goes into I think Earth, drinks something, and then he like breaks down like down to like a molecular level into the water, and that's how life started. And I don't know, I don't think it's crazy to think that an alien species designed us of some kind, because you know you have like the whole argument of intelligent design, like we're so perfect, we had to have been designed or created, you know. And then you have God who created us, or you think aliens did, or whatever the fuck. It's plausible.
Yeah.
Space is fucking crazy, dude. Space, aliens, all that shit. No one ever really knows. That's why faith is faith.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to believe in it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, not even just space though. It's like also interdimensionally, where like you and I could be sitting here, but there's another being in a different dimension that could actually see us, but we can't see them, and he might be right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because we only operate in 3 dimensions. Supposedly, I think, according to string theory, and this is like from when I read, because I read like a book, because I went through a little phase. I was like, oh, this is so interesting.
Watching Michio Kaku and
yeah, shit. The book I read was Brian Greene. I think it's called The Elegant Design or something like that. And they talk about how there's like 11 dimensions, at least. There could be more. So, but if you only operate in 3, you're not going to have access to the 5th, 4th, 6th dimensions, right? But if you are a being who does operate in the 5th or 4th dimension,
you have access to.
You do. You are. And they were saying like how the 4th dimension would be time. And then, but there's 11. I don't know what the other ones would be. But if you're within that space, you can see in and interact, but you can't, but no one else can see you. Kind of like Interstellar. Remember at the end of Interstellar where Matthew McConaughey, he's looking, he's like banging and stuff through gravity. And then it's kind of like that because I think they were able to harness like the multiple dimensions for time, space travel and shit.
I've also heard people talk about it in a way where like the dimensions can be viewed as like, so you have Earth, but then you have like another Earth around it and another Earth around that, another Earth around that. So it's like an ever growing kind of like circle of just kind of like sequences of maybe potentially universes, right? But they've also mentioned how like a lot of times you see UFOs like will submerge in water or will submerge like in volcanoes sometimes. Essentially that's them like in the act of submerging into different dimensions. So like you have to kind of submerge yourself if you're a being from a different higher 5th dimension. You want to come down here to the 3rd dimension, you have to go past the 4th into the 3rd.
And interdimensional travel.
Interdimensional travel, yeah.
That's crazy, man. I mean, I don't believe it's not true. You know, it'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But
to me, what gives me like an inclination that it is true is because I don't know, man. Like I see the devil working every day. Like whether that be what I see in social media, whether that be what I see on TV, there's always a sign of some type of evil or dark, negative type of energy being portrayed. So I think for me, that's enough of an example to know that like, okay, like there is a evil side of something. There's a dark side. Obviously there's a good and godly side of something.
Counterbalance.
Right? So, yeah. That's just kind of the way things work. There's a tug and pull with anything. That's how energy, kind of flows through their current flow. Yeah. I forgot the point I was going to make though.
you're trying to make the argument that you believe it to be true.
Oh yeah, and then like just the whole like how you can kind of like find sections in the Bible that talk about like other beings coming from somewhere. It's all there, dude. I think we just need to read between the lines.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's even interesting that there's so many different religions and stuff, different interpretations for things, but the foundation is always the same.
It's a very similar theme.
Yeah, the foundation is always the same, but there's always like minor nuances here and there.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that many cultures believe in a lot, like the creator or a creator of some kind, and how we came from, we were made and designed and stuff.
Even like videos you see like the glitch in the Matrix and shit. Like
like the proof that we're in the Matrix. That stuff is crazy. Or like the Mandela effect.
I can't say that I'm familiar with the Mandela effect.
From my understanding, I might be not explaining it completely correctly, but it's when you remember things from the past that are not the way you remember them. So, and those are things people are using as examples for like glitches in the system or people rewriting history. So, for example, let's say you remember a logo, like a Nickelodeon logo, for example. It was like the white logo with the orange splat, whatever. But then you go back, you Google it, and it was actually the white text with like a green, orange circle, and not a splat. And you can't find a splat anywhere anymore. But you're like, dude, I remember it being a splat. And then you ask other people, and they're like, yeah, it was a splat. But then you try to look back in the records, and it was a circle. So that's like the Mandela effect. And there's a lot of examples of things like that happening with logos, with shows, with songs, with history things. And people are saying one of the arguments people are making is that when you're playing a video game, right? And the video game will only process what the person is seeing, what you're looking at, right? Because like if you're playing Grand Theft Auto, you're only going to see what's on the screen, and the game is not going to generate the world behind you
unless you turn.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with this. So it's like a rewriting or a rescripting of certain things because we're not looking back that far really. So when you look back at it, it's like different. So that's like another example of people
almost like as if we went into a different timeline.
Yeah, people are saying that too. Like that's like a different, like a branch off or something, and those things are happening. And
it's very like low key. I love that show, Low Key.
I never finished it,
dude. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Are you gonna watch the new Acolyte, the Star Wars one?
I heard that. Well, I want to see it, but
I want to check it out too because I like Star Wars.
Me too. And I mean, I feel like that's a pretty cool casting part from like the girl from the Matrix, So we'll see. But Tuan was saying that he heard bad reviews about it, so I was like, well,
I heard a lot of people saying it was really woke. I saw an interview with like the creator, and they were saying it's the gayest Star Wars thing ever.
Oh. I would say arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And are you excited about that? Are you bracing yourself?
Star Wars, not the
It's pretty gay. Let's be honest.
Thing with internet, you never fucking know, dude.
Yeah.
You always gotta take everything with a grain of salt.
For sure. That's crazy, man. Why would anybody even go there?
Well, I'm gonna look that up when I edit this, and if I find out, I'll post it right here.
I think from like a representation standpoint, like from that perspective, I get it. Like for me, I mean, we're two light-skinned dudes, right? So there's probably many examples of light-skinned dudes being in movies, but I like to see more like, oh, I want to see a Latino actor in a movie.
Yeah.
Because I see that as being representation because that's how my grandpa growing up with
I
him.
agree. I do think the representation is good when it's done correctly.
Tastefully.
I think, yeah, for example, I think if you want to make Captain America example, right?
Or even Monkey Man. I thought that was kind of tasteful.
Yeah, it was cool. when you make an original character that serves that purpose. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if they wanted to introduce a new android that is, I guess, lesbian or gay or whatever.
Or why does it have to be an android? Androids are robots, you know?
Yeah, or whatever they wanted to do. But it's a new character, right? And they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. And they can serve the plot or the narrative. But if you go and you just take an existing character people know for decades and change them, or in the case like race swap or gender swap, for example, when they made Captain America the black dude, they just race swapped him. Whereas like even that makes more sense because it kind of served. He kind of retired, but there's been cases that they just swap completely without any kind of explanation.
I heard that there's backlash for Romeo and Juliet because they put a black actress as Juliet.
Yeah, I see. That's one of the things too. But I don't know. It's like a remake, I guess.
I don't see anything wrong with that. I think there's just a certain part of America that's still racist. Unfortunately,
yeah, exactly. It's like I don't see anything with it either because Romeo and Juliet is one of those things. There's so many versions of it, dude. There's like alien versions of it. There's like just so many things. Like who the fuck cares if someone is black? Oh, like an example of the Little Mermaid. Everyone's really upset about it because they just race swapped her instead of just making another IP where there's a black lead. You know what I mean? But they just race swapped her. People were mad about that.
I don't see why people would be mad about that.
Yeah, it's just people were saying just why. You know, instead of just making a new character, like Moana was a new character and she has a whole new movie to her and everything, or like Princess and the Frog where they have like a whole new character to her.
I just feel like unfortunately a lot of people just like to say shit. Like sometimes I'll put a comment on either Instagram or YouTube and some motherfucker is always trying to like
someone's always gotta say something.
Someone's always just like saying something like I forgot what it was, what happened, and fucking food like got corrected, and he deleted the comment. But it's just a lot of people are just very outspoken, and
yeah, people always gotta say something. It's funny because I go into the comments and I see people debating, and I see people mentioning someone that's not there anymore. So I was like, oh, that guy probably deleted his comment.
Yeah, he got corrected.
He got corrected, but that's what people are like upset about. Is when you take existing things and like change them.
Yeah.
Just to change them instead of making a new one or making it serve the story. Like the Fairly Odd Parents, the new Timmy is a black guy, the black kid.
There's a new Fairly Odd Parents?
Yeah, they're remaking it.
Fuck.
Well, but it's like, I think it's a new character who is just black, which is fine. That's makes sense.
They did that with Spider-Man.
Yeah, because Fairly Odd Parents are immortal, right? And obviously gonna be new kids that they're gonna be serving. So it makes sense. But if they were just to have remade Timmy and then made him black, people would have been upset about it. Yeah. I don't fucking care. It's for the Odd Parents, but
it's fucking.
That's what people get upset about.
Yeah, and people are polarized, man. Even like I think we could probably end it on what's going on in Israel and Palestine. It's not a war from my perspective because war should be two countries going at it, right? This is like one country just fucking killing a bunch of civilians and.
Yeah,
getting away with it, you know, like I saw a post of people in, I think it was Iran or some Middle East country where 2.2 million people went to go protest, but nowhere in America was that covered or talked about because,
where were they protesting?
It's not a secret. Like Kanye said this a while ago, and everything Kanye says a long time ago, you look back later, it's like, oh shit, it's true. It's not a secret that Jewish people run the media and probably don't want you to see what's really happening out there, right? Like,
where
it's
were
all
they
propaganda.
protesting though? Here?
No, they were protesting in some Middle East country.
Oh, okay.
And like they were just saying, like, look at like this country got 2.2 million people to protest what's going on in Israel. They're standing with the Palestinian people, but in America, you're not seeing this because you're censored and you're being pushed other narratives, right? And it's just kind of sad because it's really just like genocide against innocent babies and women.
That's just crazy. I mean, even that's biblical, right?
Yeah,
like the holy.
It's all about it's a spiritual. I feel like most of everything when you really look into it, it's a spiritual warfare.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's terrible, and it just sucks because I mean, there's always been conflict in that area, but now it's like times 10, and you're seeing the kids and the families and that are affected, and it's nuts, bro. I mean, it definitely makes me feel blessed for being where I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because other people are suffering, bro.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, it's not even like a war. It's just like a genocide.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I saw Bill Maher and Bill Burr like real quick
kind of like debate about it a little bit.
about it, and then Bill Maher was like, these kids are fighting for Hamas, and then Bill Burr's like, no, they're not. They're fighting for the kids, dude. It's like the fucking kids that are getting killed, blah blah blah. And then Bill Maher, he's a very like kind of like snotty, like know-it-all.
Yeah.
And then Bill Burr's like, dude, what the fuck did you do in Washington? What like qualifies you to talk about this shit? I just thought it was funny.
yeah, I saw that. That's fun. That's fucking. If I find that clip, I'll post it for here too.
Yeah.
It isn't your thing. It isn't.
Thing.
You're like that guy that has a fantasy football team and thinks he's a GM.
No.
It's like, why am I listening to you? Like, what have you done in Washington? Nothing.
No, I would never go to Washington.
Because it's true, dude. People just become like fucking politicians overnight.
I mean, Bill Maher is an intelligent guy.
He is.
I do agree with a lot of things that he says, but I don't know if he is Jewish. I think he might be. Obviously, you might be a little biased in some of your like Ben Shapiro. Like they fired Candace Owens for some shit that she was talking about. And I've never really found Candace Owens to be that. I mean, she is kind of controversial, but I feel like she's pretty steadfast in remaining in like speaking facts, you know, or at least to the best of her ability.
Yeah, she can back up what she claims for sure.
And she's a black woman, you know, like I don't know.
Yeah, we love to see that shit. Smart people that know what the fuck they're talking about, not just talking out of their ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's fucking crazy, and it is crazy how people are really getting censored by, you know, if they say something and get fired or lose their job, lose their friends and stuff. It's really divisive, which is sad because I mean, kids are losing their lives out here.
Yeah,
hospitals are getting blown up.
We can all agree that what's going on is very one-sided, and there needs to be a resolution as soon as possible because people are suffering. Like I see a bunch of children dying from malnutrition because they're starving.
Yeah, because they're
not only getting bombed but starving.
Because they're destroying like the supplies, right? Or they're not letting them go through and stuff. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know what the international kind of strategies has been like in terms of intervention. But it doesn't seem like they're doing anything really to stop Palestine.
Yeah.
I mean, Israel, I'm sorry.
I mean, of course, what happened on October 7th was horrific, and it's what prompted all of this, right? Like Hamas. But I don't really see Hamas as being the poster child for the Palestinian people. What I see is a lot of innocent people dying, and I feel like that's very unfair and very unjust. And we can all agree that if you see that, you can discern for yourself what's right, what's wrong. And
they've even killed like volunteers and stuff, like by accident.
Yeah. All of these killings that have happened, like they're all by accident. You know, like, oh, we didn't mean to bomb this place, but like,
we didn't mean to bomb a hospital full of,
or like a refugee camp, like where these people are supposed to be seeking, you know, a
asylum.
safe haven, you know, asylum. And
oops,
I dropped a bomb on there. Like, how does that happen, bro? These things
that doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah,
dude. But thoughts and prayers go out to them.
Yeah. I for one need to be praying more. I do pray, but I need to get back to praying more.
Yeah, I do. I remember when I used to pray, but I think about the shit I used to pray for. I'm like, wow, that's kind of stupid. There's so many other things going on. You know, I was younger, so I don't know the fuck what to do.
Speaking about prayer, actually, one of these people that I work with, not that work for Edison, but work like on a different side that I talk a lot to, took me out to lunch, and I thought it was going to be just about business, but we ended up talking about God for a while. And I feel like that was just a sign, like where, I don't know, you can call it like God kind of like calling out to me, like, hey, I miss you. You know, like, I miss you. Like, be a little more stronger in your faith. So I definitely need to be stronger in my faith.
Yeah, 100%. I've spoken to this with Steph too. It's so easy to kind of get lost in life and kind of forget that aspect of it, but it's really important. I mean, whatever it is that you believe in, it is important to have some kind of
doesn't mean you have to be Christian, but I think if you want to build a solid foundation and just like good morale and like positive energy, I think that's a good foundation to have.
It's a universally good ethic.
Yeah, and if you want to have children one day, you give them some type of thing to fall back on where they can have like some baseline. And even I saw some of the Tucker Carlson President Bukele interview from the president from El Salvador, and he posed a question to him saying, hey, like when you got inaugurated, the first thing you mentioned was something along the lines of like putting our faith in God. And he's like, why? Well, as a leader of a nation, why would that be your first priority? And he's like, well, why wouldn't it be? So he was talking about like how his faith in God, like going through the whole process of like locking up all the criminals, blah, 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 that was all based in prayer. And I was like, damn, that's pretty powerful. Especially if you look deeper into it, he talks about how MS-13 became like with the origin of it, but ultimately it became a bunch of Satanists in that gang that were performing satanic rituals. So it was almost like a fight between God and Satan at that point.
I mean, I remember seeing movies like where there's like gang related MS-13 type stuff. And and you see them in the movies do like satanic kind of rituals.
Yeah, they're like a Satanist cult.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it, dude.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy. It is true. Like you need that kind of foundation, that background to kind of lean on when things are bleak, dude.
Yeah,
because the world is a bleak place.
Yeah, bro. And sometimes you lose hope and you think, "Fuck it, why am I here?" But I think if you have that thing to fall back on,
that
like
faith,
praying to God,
you
can go through it. And life's about ebbs and flows. Some people hit it harder than the others, but
that's why you gotta count your blessings, dude.
Yeah,
you gotta be thankful for what you got.
Definitely, that's one thing I've Go ahead.
No, even like little things. Like sometimes I talk to stuff about, oh, I want to go on a run, but I don't fucking feel like it. But it's like I get to go on the run. There's so many people that can't run, can't walk, or even people who are just like, Steph was sick recently and she couldn't really run or do anything, and she felt bad. She's like, oh, I wish I could go to the gym, but I'm just so sick. And even that, there's people who can't do those kinds of things. Like I get to go to the gym, I get to like be here with you, and I get to do this, and so many people don't.
Yeah,
like a perfect example is what's happening over there in Palestine and stuff. They probably wish they didn't even have the bare minimum that we have here, and we're
having
a lot
a
of people
chair
take
to
it
sit
for
on.
granted. Yeah, so it's crazy, but I see people take shit like this for granted and stuff, and especially adults. Like my niece does it too, but she's a kid, and I try to talk to her about it. But if you're a grown ass adult and you kind of take everything you have here for granted, it's not easy for sure.
Yeah,
we also have our little struggles too, but definitely thankful for what I have, the good stuff.
I feel like that's a good way to end it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, dude. And thanks for tuning in to episode 2.